It's known as the Congressional Cemetery, but the only qualifications for burial here are death and a fee of at least $3,500. For that, you can spend eternity lying next to 16 senators, 68 members of the House of Representatives, 2 vice presidents, and 1 notorious director of the FBI. And for the next week, a herd of goats. This eco-friendly solution to ridding the cemetery of the vines and ivy suffocating the surrounding tree cover without polluting the adjacent Anacostia River has been welcomed by neighbors.
That's brilliant for here, especially right next to the Anacostia River. We appreciate that. We're glad that they're not using pesticides here because we worry that they would be washed right into the river when it rains.
The river once hosted abundant wildlife. Now it's a soup of toxins and sediment. And it's what happens when those pollutants reach the sea that's of particular concern. Just last week, the annual measurement of the Gulf of Mexico's dead zone was released. It's an area of water so depleted of oxygen, no marine life can be sustained. The main cause is the Mississippi River's cargo of toxic agricultural chemicals. The use of goats instead of toxic chemicals is part of a local initiative to help ensure that the Anacostia doesn't deteriorate even further. But though the Congressional Cemetery is taking steps to protect the nation's waterways, there are many who say the same can't be said for Congress itself. Environmentalists aren't calling for the mass deployment of goats to protect the nation's rivers and prevent oceanic dead zones, but they do say the solution is clear.
We are still very dependent on chemically intensive agriculture, conventional agriculture. We're working to try to increase organic, and we really push organic as a big standard.
What chance does that have against, though, Monsanto or the big agribusiness?
Oh, gosh. Well, there's not as much funding, we don't have the money for it like big chemical companies do.
Members of Congress received $139 million from agribusiness last year. Nonetheless, environmentalists hope they will become actively involved in saving the US's waterways and not simply become unwitting participants. Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera at the Congressional Cemetery in Washington.